Howdy folks, George Shively back with you here on another project. This is a 2008 58-foot Searay Sedan bridge. This has the kind of dual systems on it that they put on back in the day, where on the right side you've got a MapTech navigator system, Searay navigator system, and on the port side you've got a Raymarine E120. Well, those are going to come off, and we're going to put on two 16-inch Garmin 8616s. We're going to replace the VHF radio because, as you can see at the base, the cord invariably frays, and it is. The repeater, the Raymarine repeater right by the VHF, that's going to stay. We're going to integrate that to the new system. And over here you've got the Raymarine autopilot. That will stay, as well as the smart pilot control will stay. And we'll integrate that to the new system. Also, we're adding some cameras, 4 IP cameras to go on the boat that will give the owner some visibility here from the bridge when he wants it. So stay tuned. Appreciate you watching. Howdy folks, George Shively back with you on the 58 Searay. You can see that we've got the overhead kind of taken apart. We've got the new radar up on top, AIS antenna, GPS antenna. I want to take a second and show you inside of here. This is the loom coming from the center overhead of the helm here. That had to be obviously undone to pull out all of that, because remember, we don't leave wires behind, and then that put back together. Now usually the owner would never see this because there's a big compartment goes in here. We're going to make a new panel to cover where the old changer was, which isn't used. And so you say, oh, what the hell, just fucking throw it in there. No, you don't. Everything gets wire tied back up neatly, clean. The wire that's laying here is for a camera that's going to be going over here. We've got another camera that's going on the starboard side, so we can see the sides of the boat. This is the man diesel panel that goes over top. So just kind of a quick look here at some of the infrastructure that goes on. When you're done, you leave a nice snake in the tube so that when you come back, you can get to it. Just little things like that. So hopefully that makes sense to you folks. I know it does. Talk to you later. Hang tight. All right, folks, George Shively back with you here on the 58. Kind of wanted to show you what the inside of the helm looks like here. Kind of a disaster at the moment. That loom that is usually tied very neatly up here had to be taken down so that we could pull a lot of the old wiring out. And now we're going to be in the process of reattaching that up to leave it nice and clean like Searay originally did it. But again, it's not plug and play. The other thing we found here was this is the NEMA 2000 little mini network that they had for the Fusion stereo. Well, anyone who knows anything about NEMA 2000 will tell you in a heartbeat this is wrong. This is the connection to the radio. This is the connection to the aft controller, and this is the connection to the forward controller. So this is, even I don't know if it works. The owner didn't tell me, but we're replacing the stereo with a newer one. But this is a perfect example of something that is not even close to right. This was aftermarket. This was not done by Searay. Usually Searay's wiring is pretty nice. But anyway, the things we find along the way. So stay tuned, we're making headway. Howdy folks, back with you here on the 58 Sedan bridge. Found a couple things interesting. The owners decided to replace the Fusion stereo that was in here. It was kind of an old model, so we're putting in a new one with color display, and that'll be nice. It's interesting because these are NEMA 2000 radios, both the old one as well as the new one. And as anyone who's familiar with NEMA 2000 knows, you have to power the network. Well, there was no power for the network, which means that display right there, as well as the display that's alongside the staircase, right down in that area, would not work. I'm not sure the owner knew about it, but it would not work. Anyway, we are working on putting in 4 GC200 cameras. Those are IP cameras that Garmin makes, real nice, good cameras. One's going to be on the back here, and you'll see we cut a little axis in here that I'm going to make an acrylic plate to cover that up, similar to what I did over here. They had used wood before and it just delaminated, it was crummy, so I made a piece of acrylic, and it'll last forever. Same thing up top here. This is where the Clarion changer used to be, which was original equipment. Made a piece of acrylic, beveled the edges with the router and polished it, and didn't turn out too bad. So anyway, making headway. We also found that the VHF antenna, that guy right there, when I got on top of the hardtop to look at what we're doing here with the camera, and orient the camera to find out where it needs to go, is that cable is shot outside. The outside insulation shot. So anyway, we're making headway. Big job. Stay tuned. Howdy folks, George back with you here. I want to show you something I was talking about on the antenna. If your feed line from your antenna looks anything like this, you need to replace your antenna, because water gets inside of here and then it's end. It does bad things. Your antenna doesn't function nearly as well and can actually short out between the braid and the center conductor. And if that happens, you destroy the final transistor stage, amplification stage in your radio, and then you end up buying a new radio. So when you're outside of your antenna cable looks like that, it's time to go. Stay tuned. Howdy folks, back with you here on the 58. Just kind of want to show you what the underside of the helm looks like here. There's a lot of stuff underneath here. A lot of it is wiring. Your VHF brain, your AIS brain, of course your DC distribution panel labeled so that we know what everything is. This here in front, of course, is your NEMA 2000 backbone with everything labeled so that we can tell what it is. So if there's a problem, we're not hunting and pecking. Up from there is the Garmin Marine Switch 10 Core-fied Ethernet switch that everything is plugged into, or some things are plugged into. The cameras go into there, and then that goes back up to the helm. And then to our right is the power supplies for all of the cameras, so that we can just use power over Ethernet rather than having 2 separate wires going to each camera. So that's kind of where we're at the time being. Everything is wired at this point. If we come up top to the top of the helm here, you can see all of our wires are laying out here, so that we can plug those into the new displays that are going to go there. And that's about where we're at right now. So stay tuned and we'll be back. Howdy folks, one last look here on the 58 Searay. As you can see over here, we did install the new Fusion stereo. That's an MSRA 670. It's one of their Apollo series stereos, real nice. Updated that from the older system. A GMI 20, basically data repeater there. Doesn't look like the screen's coming up very well, but it's there. We're still on the hard, so that's why we have a flashing depth. And the two 8616s, standard on the left, XSV on the right for the sounder capability. Replaced the VHF radio with a new Ray Marine, which blended in real nicely. And of course the pilot's the same. We just integrated that to the Garmin system, and that's kind of how things look. So it came out looking real nice. Kind of looks like we weren't here, which is what we always strive for. And the one thing that I think is nice here is that we used acrylic as a border, where before it was used some type of wood that was starting to delaminate and separate. Same thing we did up on top. These boats originally came with a Clarion system, and there was a chain drip here. We put a piece of acrylic up there as well. So that's how things turned out. We'd love to have your business, so give us a call if you're interested in talking. 216-407-6553. South Shore Marine Electronics. Our email, southshoremarineelectronics@oh.rr.com and southshoremarineelectronics.com. Thanks for watching.